Much of our state's wildlife and landscape has been captured by many artists in their own way. But in the world of duck stamp art, Iowa is home to a living legend. Maynard Reece has won nearly every award imaginable for his wildlife art, most of which has famously showcased Iowa's waterfowl. Maynard is in his early 90s, but is far from retirement. He can now look back on a life full of art, awards, and quality time with nature. There is a place where it is possible to enjoy Iowa's outdoors, indoors. The Maynard Reece Gallery in Des Moines. While it's safe to say that he is Iowa's predominant wildlife artist, the name Maynard Reece is internationally known, and his skills have taken him all over the world, painting wildlife in all sorts of environments.
My wife and I were in Antarctica in January of one year, and in June of the same year we were up in the Arctic Ocean at both ends of the earth, and I was sketching and painting all the time.
Reece was born in 1920 in Arnold's Park, Iowa, on Lake Okoboji. He tells people he was only 100 yards of being a duck, and he spent a large amount of time exploring and taking advantage of the area's natural wonders. His first step towards becoming an artist came when he was only 13 years old.
I did a little pencil drawing of mallards. I was in a little school. We didn't have any art classes or anything, but the teacher saw it and decided to send it in to the Iowa State Fair, and I won first prize and $1.50, the most money I ever had in my life. And I bought art supplies. That's what I wanted and needed. So I was off and running, and I knew what I wanted to do.
Because his family was poor, Reece never received a formal art education. He did, however, have a mentor in Ding Darling, a cartoonist for the Des Moines Register. Darling often commented on issues concerning conservation and preservation. He was recruited by FDR to serve on the President's Committee for Wildlife Restoration, was the founder of the National Wildlife Federation, and was often referred to as the best friend a duck ever had.
I went in to see him, and I was scared to death. He had a very gruff, strong voice. And he took one look at my stuff. He says, well, I can tell you it's nice and it won't do you any good, or I can tell you what's wrong with it. What do you want? I said, I want to learn. So we were friends from then on.
After a brief stint at Meredith Publishing, Reece began working at what is today known as the State Historical Museum. He spent his time collecting specimens for the museum and on the artwork for Iowa's Fish and Fishing. The book, published by the Iowa Conservation Commission, was instrumental in launching Reece's career as a freelance artist. I
had a fish tank in the office there, and the DNR would bring species of fish in, and I would paint them. I always demanded I had to see every fish alive. A dead fish is not an interesting thing at all.
Having tackled Iowa's fish, Reece moved on to the rest of the country. Life magazine took the bait, and for nearly 3 years he traveled the U.S. painting the fresh and saltwater fish of North America.
Those things spawned other jobs from Sports Illustrated, Saturday Evening Post, and all different types of magazines.
For most people, the first image that comes to mind when they hear the name Maynard Reece is probably a painting of waterfowl rather than fish. He says that his favorite thing to paint is water, and surprisingly, no matter what his subject matter, he tries to eliminate as much detail as possible.
What detail is there has got to be very effective and correct. And artist painting a person doesn't put 7 fingers on a hand, and a bird artist doesn't put X number of feathers on a wing. You know that there's 10 primaries and 10 secondaries and so many scapulars and so forth, so you just do that automatically.
Over the years, Reece has published over 400 editions of prints. His art has raised millions of dollars for conservation and preservation programs. He has been the National Ducks Unlimited Artist of the Year, the Iowa Pheasants Forever Artist of the Year, and the Iowa Ducks Unlimited Artist of the Year. He has designed more than 30 different stamps for various conservation organizations and is the only artist to win the Federal Duck Stamp Competition 5 times since Ding Darling created the program in 1934. In 1998, a 125-acre wetland in North Iowa was named the Maynard Reece Marsh in recognition of his contributions to conservation.
When I made the dedication to it, I told the people that were there, the ducks and I, complimented them and appreciated what they did for us.
At the age of 90, Reece says he slowed down a bit and paints only 3 or 4 pictures a year. He has one very important painting that he calls The End, which he will be working on right up to his final days. It's a painting of 90 mallards, and Reece plans on adding another mallard for every birthday he celebrates. We hope he'll be adding ducks for quite some time.
What I hope people get out of my painting is an interest in wildlife and in nature. And once they become interested in it, then they'll be more anxious to conserve it. And that's what I hope people get out of my painting.